The Presidency has called on Johannesburg communities to work with police as investigations continue into the weekend's fatal tavern shootings. At least 15 people were killed in a mass shooting at a tavern in Soweto. In KwaZulu-Natal, 4 people also died in Pietermaritzburg and 2 in Katlehong in similar circumstances. To talk to us more about these mass shootings, we're joined via Zoom by security expert Azania Mnisi. A very good day to you and thanks for making the time. 3 separate tavern shootings in one weekend. What do you make of this?
Good morning, Desiree, and good morning to the viewers. We are very much challenged as a country in terms of these mass shootings. If you look at it, the pattern is the same, and even in the same kind of establishments. So it is a very serious security concern to us as a public, but equally it poses serious light to the work of our intelligence bodies as to whether are they able to do what they're supposed to do. Are they able to pick up this kind of planned attacks on our people? So it's a very serious security threat, which may spill over, looking at what is going through around the social medias.
There's different thoughts about what could be at the bottom of this. What do you think is the motive behind the shootings?
There are diverse thinking in terms of that. One, it can be the issue of business. Remember, we had the same kind of practice in the Cape Flats or in Cape Town with regard to the owners of nightclubs and so on. So, wherein patrons were attacked and then the owners were told to pay some protection fees and so on in order to make sure that business continues without any kind of mayhem or attacks. So there can be a lot of instances or incidences that can be pulled over. Business interest cannot be taken away from this kind of shootings because we have seen that happening in the past. So my view is specifically on the business interest, that much analysis must be given in and even investigation must be directed to the issue of business interest because we cannot rule it out.
What about the allegations of the use of high caliber weapons? Is this worrying just in terms of the conversations of the infiltration of weapons in our communities?
It is very much worrying. You cannot have such kind of high caliber weapons in the hands of ordinary people or criminals for that matter. This takes us back to the question that is coming back on the issue of gun control in the country. Now, if you look at the allegations of the high caliber weapons that are being used in this kind of incidences, you then ask yourself, are we in a position to control guns that are out there? We have seen last year during the unrest, especially in the KZN region, wherein high caliber weapons were used during that kind of an unrest. Now, it's very clear weapons are in the hands of wrong people, and it is easier, it's almost easier for security companies, as we have seen, to be able to purchase this kind of high caliber weapons, and which, if they are not well controlled, they fall in the hands of wrong people, and then they are used for these heinous crimes.
So last week, Friday, the Minister of Defence, representing the security cluster, spoke about how the cluster is ready in terms of protecting the country should any more incidents come up. She was talking about the July unrest. But just looking at this micro event in Soweto, or the one in Katlehong, or the one in Pietermaritzburg, do you have a sense that the security apparatus of the country is up to the task?
Our security is not up to their task at all. We are always caught napping. We are caught unprepared. We are caught slumbering. So we are not up to the task. And this is an embarrassment to the security cluster itself, starting from the domestic branch of intelligence. You ask yourself, what is it that they are doing? Because they cannot even get information beforehand. They cannot even intercept anything. We know for sure that the intelligence services, they are not necessarily supposed to be going around giving media briefings and all that about the job that they're doing, but we need to see it through the security functions. We must see us being safe. So all these things that are happening, the security incidences that we find ourselves in, it starts at the intelligence services. If you look at draw lessons from history, the July unrest of last year, you can see that there was disjunction, uncoordinated kind of an approach between intelligence and SAPS and even the military. So in principle, what I'm bringing here is that we do not have a coordinated structure to deal with the security of the country. We have just left everything in the hands of God. Really, the people who are supposed to do their job, they're sleeping on their jobs, and the president is being embarrassed every day because he has to be the one who's issuing all statements with regard to this kind of embarrassment. So I will say the entire security structure is not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
And just finally, Azania, how should ordinary members of society, what should they be doing to ensure their safety?
The ordinary members of society are at risk because of the absence of function from the police side or from our intelligence side. The ordinary members of the public should desist from peddling unverified information. They should desist from following all these allegations that are going through the social medias, because they have potential to put this country in turmoil, in fire we would not want to see ourselves in. We have had instances of xenophobic attacks in the past, and with the information that is circulating around, there are high chances that we may find ourselves there, and we may have foreigners being attacked. So ordinary members must desist from peddling that kind of information. At this point in time, they must also stay away from this kind of establishments because their security is not guaranteed. So you cannot just go and try your luck by going to this establishments where they get refreshments or alcohol, because we have seen what is happening. But equally, I think we need to make a very serious call to our politicians and civil leaders. They must stay away from using this kind of incidences to score cheap political points, because at risk here at the stake here is the safety of our people, the safety of the country. So it is very unfortunate that we're going to have leaders who go around and use this kind of incidences to score cheap political points. It's not what we need. Unfortunately, we need to allow these security agencies to do their jobs. We need to provide them with information that we are having, but well, the faith in them is very minimal. They need to redeem themselves. They need to make sure that they uncover these plots and ensure that we are all safe.
I totally agree with that last point about political parties using these tragic events to score cheap political points. Azania Mnisi is a security analyst, and he was talking to us about those events. I don't know if you agree. Let us know at the agenda _SABC.